Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, dear viewers. With us today is our beloved brother Sheraz Ahmed from the United States, and today we will hear how he accepted Islam Ahmadiyya. We have already released his convert story in the Urdu language, and it is our most watched convert story with almost 50,000 views. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu Alaikum, Sheraz bhai.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah for inviting me. As it is already told that my Urdu convert story is already shared and it's available on the same YouTube channel. But some of the friends were asking that it should be in English because in US and across some areas, people tend to understand English better. So I would try to put my story again in English this time. So I will start with the beginning. So I was born in a Sunni Brelvi family. And the usual Sunni Brelvi family tend to have this understanding that at max what they can do is do some niyaz or some kind of rituals which are inherited living across other people in the Indian subcontinent. So they just inherited from others, or they're from their older parents or older generations. But after accepting Islam, they were doing some rituals, the similar kind of rituals. You can hear it about the Sunni Brelvis, and you can watch the videos. They do something like that. So I was born into a family where they have this ritual of doing some niyaz, gyarmi, barmi, or some yearly, some gyarmi, badi gyarmi they call it. Gyarmi means the 11th, on the 11th day of the month, the Islamic month. They tend to spread some food for the people. So the only thing that they practice, it was some rituals, and I was part of that family. So my family does that thing, or if my father is at home, then we might go for prayer on Friday only. So otherwise I don't remember that till my high school I ever went to mosque without or Eid. Friday prayer or Eid prayer, I never went to the mosque. So the thing is that since I was little, because Sunni Brelvi, they tend to hear a lot of qawwalis. Qawwali is just some kind of like simple tunes, or we can say some songs that are written in Urdu or Punjabi or some other languages, and they use some of those different instruments to recite those songs or sing those songs. So I used to tend to that, but there is a factor of God in there in some of those qawwalis. So my introduction to God was just related to it, and some to rituals. So my father was so much abusive to me that my mother and my father, they used to fight, and I was little. When I was little, I was not able to understand what was the reasons. Till even high school, I was not able to understand. So they tend to fight, and then after that, the result is that at the end, I was the elder one in the house, and he tend to beat me or curse me or use bad words and a lot of things. So I was looking for something that we are something, we are living in this world. There should be some way that I can express my feelings. So there should be someone that I can show my feelings, and he or she can listen to it. When I was listening to those qawwalis, I have this thing that, okay, there is a God, and he can help me, he can listen to me. But I don't know, like, where is the God? Who is the God? What he does, and why I'm over here in this world? I don't know the purpose. So after my high school, I started, because my father left us and he gone away. Um, uh, where he went, I don't know. I'm now like almost 30. I'm 38 right now, so I don't know where he is. So when he left, I found, and in Pakistan or India, I don't know, in other part of the world, when you have those high school exams, final exams, and after that there is a like 3 months gap, and they happen to be at the district level, or at the at the district level. So they do the results compilation for all the district students giving their 10th grade exams, high school exams. So they and there is a gap of 3 months where they process those results and then announce the result finally. So in those 3 months, I found that my father was not at home. So I said, okay, what's the point of sitting at home? Let's go for prayer. And I started going to a Sunni mosque. My house was like that it does have two streets from both sides. So I can go to one neighborhood and then go to the neighborhood. So one of the mosques that I used to tend to go, I was doing those same rituals of Gyarvi and all those things. But I started praying. And but one day I decided that I should go from the other side of the neighborhood, because the backside tend to get dark in the night, in Maghrib and Isha time. So I went from there to the other side where it does have some lights on the streets, and the Sunni mosque was far away, but that has some lights, and I can go over there. So, but I was going over there doing some same kind of things, but after a couple of days, maybe a couple of days or a week, I decided that mosque is far. Let's go to the same neighborhood, but go to the other mosque. So I went to the other mosque, and that mosque was Wahhabi mosque, which is, they call it Ahle Hadith mosque. So I went over there. The real trigger for me when it started, that when I started doing wudu at their place, which is ablution in English. I was doing that wudu, and at that time, the imam of that mosque, of Al Hadith mosque, he came to me and he said, the way you are doing the wudu and you are doing some extra rituals in it, these extra rituals are not proven from the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam or Hadith. And because I read those things in my book of Islamiyat, a subject in 9th and 10th, that ahadith are there, and there, I don't want to go into the details, but I know what is meant by ahadith. So I said, I saw these things doing by my elders, and I felt like these are the things that are part of the wudu. But he said to me that no, we are bound to follow what is proven from Allah and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and the hadith. So this thing was the triggering point for me to connect. And I say, okay, now if I want to research about God, where is the God and what is the God? I have to go and read those things. The point of disconnect happened when this imam, he told me that let's study the hadith first. He didn't tell me about the Quran. He told me to read the hadith, and I said, okay, that's fine, I'll read it. He gave me the Bukhari first and second volume, and I took it and I read the first volume and read a little bit of second volume. Especially, I consider the topics of prayer, the roza, the psalm, fasting, and also about the zakat, which is the charity. And I read those things from those books, and then I read from the Muslims' first book as well. And I felt like I am reading those things, but these are like similar things. Like I am not reading something about God, about Allah or something. But the thing that was stuck to my head was that, okay, I have to read Quran and Sunnahs, Quran and Hadith and all those things. So moving forward, I was And when I started doing this, I felt like a little bit connection. I started going to that mosque, attending those seminars, what they call it, the Quran conference or or Hadith conference or something like that. And I was like watching those people. I felt like, okay, I have to be part of it. I was doing Rafa Yadan, like raising hands the way the Al Hadith do, and doing all those activities, whatever the prayer they do that, putting the trouser up from my ankles and all those things. But I did not felt that there is something happening. I grow my beard and all those things. So moving forward, I felt that when I saw those people, especially the imams, that they are coming into the conferences, they are doing like very loud voice speeches and all those things. But but when the times comes to the morning Fajr prayer, couple of them, those imam, I saw they're sleeping, and the Jamaat is happening. And this was this puts me like I'm already into this activities for 1 year, and this put me a foot back, and I said, okay, I have to read all those things, but I cannot be part of this organization. They call themselves Al Hadith, but I will be Al Hadith, whatever I read from Quran and Hadith, but I will not be part of them. So I was an Al Hadith, but I left those. I left them, like I don't want to associate myself with them, because I saw the difference between hypocrisy and the way they describe themselves a very good scholars or big scholars, but their hypocrisy was there. I know that it doesn't apply to all, but there was that activity was there. So this led to me into this activity that, okay, just research on your own, whatever time you have, and do whatever you can, but don't associate yourself with any group. Because my father left already, so I was in my college, and then I went to the university for my graduation and into bachelor's. I was keep following this thing. Whatever I am able to learn, I was reading some books and all those things. But I was not feeling like there is something, a connection is there, because I was reading Quran, I was waking up for the Fajr, which was very hard for me. Because I was not trained. I was not trained to read Fajr prayer or waking up early. Only at the school time, I wake up, just quickly do the breakfast and go to the school or college and university. So I was keeping myself growing into that activities to come up, okay, rise up early and go for Fajr prayer in the mosque and all those things. But I was feeling that there is a missing part. But it went. Like I went to my graduation, then I went for master's, and then after that, I got married into an Al Hadith group, and Al Hadith, not Al Hadith group, it's Al Hadith family actually. I was, but they were part of a very big Al Hadith scholars group. One of them is teaching right now in Saudi Arabia as a professor in their Iqra University or somewhere. I don't know the actual name. I believe it is Iqra. So I went over there. I got married, and I have 3 kids. And then the way my father treated me, it puts me a lot of hard on me, that now when I comes to my children, I was too much soft on them. I was taking care of them. Because they were very little, and I have to take care of them. I'm doing whatever I can to make them feel like, okay, whatever my father did to me, I was not doing with them. But then one day, it is already like 12, 13 years that I'm in Al Hadith. But when my younger brother, who told me that, okay, he asked me some question. He said, what do you think about the death of Jesus? And what do you think about Khatm Nabuwat? And what do you think about the Nasikh Mansukh, which is that in the Quran? And I said, look, I didn't get a chance to read the Quranic translation till yet. I am already 31 or 30 years old. I did not read those things, but by logical, I think that it should be that way, that um, Jesus has to die, and because logically, anyone, if Prophet Muhammad SAW has died, then Jesus has to die. That's logical. Um, Same with the Quran. If the Quran is saying that Allah has taken its responsibility to take care of it, take care of its meaning and all those things, and its words, then nobody can change it. Its words cannot be changed. People can translate into their own meaning whatever they want, but they cannot change the words, and it's the proven fact. Even by the other people who are living in the West, and they know that people translated, and they put their own meanings in the translation, but they are not able to change the actual words. So the actual words are there; they cannot be changed, and they cannot be fabricated, or they cannot be say, okay, this verse is terminated, or that verse is terminated. That cannot happen. But regarding the Khatm Nubuwwat, I already heard by the scholars that Khatm Nubuwwat means last prophet. That I need to look into the dictionary what that meaning is. So the time, and he said, okay, look for it and let me know what that mean is. And I said, okay, I'll get the time. It was like 2012 November sometime. He talked to me early November, or maybe end of October. He talked to me, and I don't know that he was already an Ahmadi, but he talked to me about that. But because that is the end of the year, and we are closing all the. I was in IT. I'm working in IT industry, and I have software development. I did not get a chance to go and look for that word in the dictionary and all that. But after a couple of weeks, he said, okay, let's go to meet somebody, and he didn't tell me like he's going to an Ahmadi person and going over there, and he didn't tell me about that one. But then when I went with him, and that guy was talking, we met a place at a friend's place. I didn't know that place. I didn't know that person, not even that guy who was over there. But there were other people who were invited. There was one Christian, one Hindu was also over there. If I remember correctly, one of them was there at least. So that person was representing the Jamaat Ahmadiyya, and he didn't tell me about that thing, but he started talking into about these questions what my brother has told me, and he gave a lot of discussion about different things, about different Quranic verses he shared with me, and he shared a lot of Hadith and their meaning and all those things that I never heard before. Because in Ahle Hadith, there is a difference in Pakistan. There is a group that is called Deoband, which have their tendency of having this thing that they're like, we can say that bread and butter is just talking about Khatm Nubuwwat and all those things. But in Ahle Hadith, they are more tend towards like, okay, prayer or salat or fasting or zakat or something like that. They are more interested into it. There is another group of Ahle Hadith which is banned by United States because they are they call themselves Jamaat Dawa, but they are not Jamaat Dawa because they are producing more kind of like terrorism activities. So I would say that because I already avoiding the Al Hadith group, so that group was the least one that I could go over there. So I don't want to be associated with them, even with the first group, even. But that Al Hadith do not discuss a lot about Khatm Nubuwwat and all those things. But those Deobandis do discuss these activities, and in every Friday sermon they talk about these things, or especially do seminars and conferences to discuss that thing. So what happened was that I was listening all those things firsthand, and I felt the connection, because all the Quranic verses, he was not like putting their meanings on top. He was just saying the plain translation, and plain translation, understanding of the Quran based on the parts of the Quran, and discussing the whole topic. not just taking one verse from one place and one verse from the other place and just saying, okay, this is my meaning. So the idea that I liked was that, okay, he's taking all the verses for one topic instead of just describing his opinion from one verse. Just like I heard after when I talked to other Deobandis and other when I will talk about my other story. So that was I like. The other thing was that I got an interest in the Quranic discussion. Earlier, I used to hear about from Ahle Hadith was, you don't have to do shirk and blah, 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 a couple of these things and prayer and all those things. But when I hear these other verses of the Quran, not only on these three questions which I earlier mentioned, but other portions of the Quran as well, then I felt a connection. So at that time, because I don't have that much knowledge, but when I started reading myself translations and all those things, then I found the verse that it says that the Quran has a magical effect if you really connect to it. And it was truthful because he was not hiding anything. But the actual trigger for me to accept Ahmadiyya was started when he gave me the Ruhani Khazain, one of the volume of the Ruhani Khazain, and he said, go home and read this thing. And I said, good, I will read those things. When I went home, I started reading. It was late in the night, like 10:30, something like that. And I started reading, and I read like a couple of pages. My wife came in and she said, don't read these books, and these are kafir books, or these are not Muslim books. And I said, what is meant by kafir books? And we have a couple of little argument, and for the time, because it was late in the night, I said, okay, what's the point of fighting? We're going to sleep. So I just put that book into my mother's room and we went to sleep. After a week, in the meantime, I did not get a chance to look at the dictionary for that Khatm Nubuwwat word, what is meant by Khatam in the Quran that is used. I was looking online, but in the office, but I was not connecting the dots because the Arabic dictionary that I found, it starts with its root words, and I have no idea what at that time what are root words and all those things. So the day passes. The next day, I went to the office, and I got a call on Skype from my brother-in-law, who was my wife's brother, and he was in South Africa at that time. He was doing business at that time, and he called me and he said, I heard that you are you are reading some Ahmadi books and you met with Ahmadi. And I said, I just got a book. I just started reading, and my wife told me, her name is Shama, and he told me don't read, and I don't read. And the call goes on. But the point was that I get like too much in a shock that my wife, she didn't even bother to wait and discuss with me. She felt threatened that she has to call his brother in South Africa, and it was late night for him when he was calling me during the day over here. And it was like a kind of like a feeling, some breaking the trust or something like that, I felt. But I ignored it. And he told me that he told me that he will bring some books to read for me. And I said, okay, that's fine. Pardon my English. I am not good at that in English. But the time it happens that he was coming late and coming after like a month or something. But I went for another meeting. My brother took me another meeting, and he gave me another book of Tafsir Kabir of Khalifa Sani, and he gave me the book, and he said 10th volume, and he said, go read it. I told him that first what happened to it, and he said, okay, go with Tafsir al-Quran. It will be a better thing for her to understand. But the same thing happened. We argued, and I put that book away, and things goes on. But after 2 weeks, brother-in-law, 2 or 3 weeks, he came back and he brought me 2 big books of the Deobandis, and they have written about the Ahmadiyya community. And I said, okay, that's fine. I'm open to read. And I started reading those books. And when I read those books, I read the first 150 pages, and I saw a disconnect because the things that he was talking about, the person who wrote those books, he was talking about, that was totally a different kind of Quranic verses or its translation or its meaning. And also he started putting some comments on Hazrat Mirza Sahib, and that was like a triggering point for me, like putting me more anxious that okay, I have to go and look what is the truth. So I opened my laptop. I was sitting at home, it's weekend, and I opened that book, opened that alislam.org. At that time open was it was open in Pakistan. I opened and started matching those references, and that could put me into shock that after 4 or 5 references, I found all 4 or 5 references written in those book were false, total false, cherry picked, and just to prove his point. I was doing this activity, then my wife came in and she said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm comparing the references." And she said, "No, don't compare, just read what it is over here." And that was the point where I have to just go and do more research. And I did. I started reading the book of Tianu. I read the book of Teachings of Islam, and because I've grown in Urdu, so I read in Urdu. But it took me like a month to close that philosophy of Teachings of Islam. I was reading at office, so I was not reading at home. But it took me like I was spending like after office hours, I was spending like half an hour or something to read that book. But I was feeling disconnect. But although I completed that book, but still a lot of things were like went over my head, and I said, okay, let's just complete one time. And when I compared that book to the books that my brother-in-law brought, I was really in shock that although the references I already verified they were wrong, and they were talking something bad, but this book was totally wrong, totally in a different direction. And this one was wrongly telling me that, okay, they are lying. That was I already know. But this one is putting me in a spot that now I have to take a decision. Now I have to do. So when I read the Kashti Anu, a little portion of it, I didn't get the chance to read the whole. And I already hear 2 sessions. In the meantime, I was going somewhere in Lahore, and in Lahore, if the people who know Lahore, they know Lahore. They have secretariat over there. So just right in front of secretariat, the Ahle Hadith group, there is an Ahle Hadith bookshop over there. So they do some research. They read the whole Bukhari, and they take out some Hadith or take the original books written in Arabic, and they take out some work and write their own books or shorten it or create their own versions and print it and sell it over there. So that group is Darussalam, and it is in like 5 different places in the world. Already is also in US, in Arabia as well, in New York as well. So I said they definitely should have a dictionary over there, and I went over there, and they have a dictionary over there, but it's very small Arabic to English dictionary, not in Urdu. But that was not my problem. So I know a little bit of English, you can see. So when I opened that book, it was Quranic vocabulary, Quranic words with the dictionary. So I open it, and it was Khatam. The word Khatam is written in their book. It was their published book, and it was written the way that we describe. That it does not mean last. It means Khatam. That means most important person, or a ring, or a stamp, or something like that. But just below that, the word written was Khatim. That means in the Quran the word is Khatam, Khatamun Nabiyyin. But they also mention the word Khatim. Although there are 2 different. Some people say that there is a variation in the recitations of the same word Khatam and Khatim. But the Arabic meaning they described in their book was that Khatim means last, and Khatam means the ring and stamp and moher and something like that. So just like I mentioned that there are different qira'ats of the Quran, and one qira'at is Khatam and one is Khatim. So just like in Urdu, we say that okay, वो चीज़ उस पर ख़त्म है, शायरी उस पर ख़त्म है. So we Ahmadi Muslims agree on both the qira'ats, and we also believe that Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the perfectionist. He's the last one, the last perfect person on the world, or last perfect prophet. So we agree on both of the qira'ats. That does not mean that we only believe on one qira'at. The point that I want to make is that we believe in every qira'at and we translate the way it should be translated. But the thing is that Sunnis and other Muslims, they don't want to go and translate the way it should be translated. They just accept one qiraat or half of the qiraat or the way they want to accept it, and they just do it the way they want it. They don't want to accept all the. I would say that this accepting all the qiraats makes us more putting more praise for our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But the Sunnis and other Muslims, they don't do it. They just want to put it whatever the way they want it. So this was kind of like a last proving point that I needed for. And in the third session, I accepted Ahmadiyyat. But I already know that I have a pressure from my in-laws and my wife that they're not going to like it. So I didn't tell them that I accepted Ahmadiyyat. I went into the third time meet to the same guy. That he was the secretary of Tabligh in Pakistan, in Lahore, and I talked to him, and I signed the bet. That was the end. But the real story started after that. Just after that, I did it in February 2013. So it's 8 years now. So I didn't tell my wife that, okay, I accepted Ahmadiyyat, but I was keep growing into that because I felt the connection that I was missing, and I was finding for years that where is God, what the God looks like, how I can connect. So that book of philosophy of teaching of Islam was giving me a direction that what I have to do, where I can find the God, where is the God, what the God do. And because till then I did not get a chance to talk to Devandis. I don't know the variations what Devandis make about the verses of the Quran and all those things. But when so in the meantime, my office people, they told me that, okay, we have a team sitting in Boston, US, and we want a person to talk to them and having the requirements gathered and shared with the Pakistan team, because the client do not want to invest into finding that person. So we have to take that person from here. So we'll try to find a business visa. If we can find it, then we can take you over there. And we applied, and the president of the company at that time, he was sitting in US, and he told me that like he trained one of me and one other guy, and both of us trained. He trained like in a way that they can ask this question, you have to present this receipt or bank statement or blah blah blah. But when I went over there, he just asked the guy over there in the embassy, and I was really shocked after that he just asked me, okay, where are you going? And I just truthfully told him that I'm going for this, for business requirement gathering and all those things. And he just right away took my passport and he said, okay, we'll let you know. And after 5 days, I get the passport. But the other guy who went with me, although he also got the visa, but they asked him like a lot of questions. They asked him to show me the documents and all those things. I don't know like why this is happening. But then I came back, and I came to US 5 months. I work over here. In the meantime, my communication with my wife, I didn't tell her that I accepted Ahmadiyya. But in the meantime, I wrote a letter to Hazur, and I requested prayer from him that please pray for me that I accepted Ahmadiyya. And when I went back, that letter was in my suitcase, and my wife, when she opened the suitcase for the clothes, taking the clothes out, she saw that letter, and it was in Urdu, and she read it, and she said, okay, you accepted Ahmadiyya. I tried to avoid that discussion because I know that because she tend to jump on conclusions quickly. So I tried that, okay, I should not discuss this thing. But the thing happened that she was gone into like a trauma, and she started beating me, was tone of my clothes, and she took a rock, she hit me, and I started bleeding, and all those things happened. And I have to run from my area or the portion where I was living with my wife and kids, and have to run to my mother's and hide in a bathroom to avoid this confrontation. Um, but this thing was like, this triggered her into this thing that she was already started monitoring my phone. She started looking at my laptop, on the face. She was started looking on my Facebook account, my Twitter account, and she was monitoring. And whenever the other things that I posted earlier, she started like putting comments and videos and articles against Ahmadiyya community from my accounts, forcefully doing that thing. And then she started making me to go with her to the Ahle mosque and pray with her. And then my elder son at that time, he was 4 years old, and she sent him with me to on the weekends, that look at that, am I praying with the Jamaat or not? Am I praying separately or not? And she asked questions to him. So this was like a kind of activity started, but in the meantime, I was in the office. I returned back on December 2013, and in January, my office fired me, and they told me that they are firing me because I have a very bad situation, and they want to take me out, and they are downsizing. They were in our different arguments. They are downsizing, and then on the other hand, and I didn't do good performance at my trip in US. And I said, look, when I was going to US in July 2013, you gave me extra bonus that I'm going for you. When I was over there in November, when I was still over there, and December I came back. In November, you did a shining review of my whole year, that I did a great job. You give me extra 15% of increase in my salary. You give me extra bonus with me, that I am working for you. And as I came back, you were saying that I didn't do any performance. What was that? What is the truth? And then they turned out to me and they said, oh no, we are doing the corporate downsizing. And I said, why are you downsizing me when you have more senior people sitting? Why you're not starting from the senior people? Why are you running around a person who has like 4 years with you, and a person who is sitting for 12 years? Why are you not downsizing from them? Why you hired so many senior people and you don't want to start for them? Why you start with junior person? But then I figured out that when I was in US, my CEO is a white person, local white person, but my president was Pakistani Shia. And because my CEO, the white person who lives near to me, and he was a good person, but I believe that's why I told him that I joined Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and they do a lot of work, humanity work as well, and they have an organization, Humanity First. So this, and I told him that if you like, you can watch us on Twitter. And at that time, I just know that in Twitter, they share a lot of things. So I believe that this information was transferred to my president in discussions, the regular discussion. Any human can do that. And that was the triggering point for me to get fired, that I accepted Ahmadiyya. But I was not sure because they were not telling me right away. Obviously, they cannot tell me. But after like couple of years, or maybe still now, I am already out from 6 years since I am over here, 7 years almost. I did not see all the senior people they were hired at that time, any of them get fired. Even some juniors who are junior to me, like I worked for like over 20-30 people in my 4 years in that organization, they are still there. So this gives me a confirmation that it was this triggering point that I accepted Ahmadiyya. But the point goes on, and my wife is still, I got fired, so I'm staying at home. I don't have a job. I cannot go to any place. So every time the prayer time comes in, she like wake me up by force, and she'll go to the mosque, pray, and all those things. Usually before that, I used to go to the mosque, but I pray sometimes the sunnah at home, or and I just go when the because there is a next street right next to me and my house, so it was very near, like a couple of minutes to walk, or maybe a 1 minute walk. And I used to go over there just like as the ikama has started. So, uh, but now she just listened to the azan, and she just push me. Okay, go, you have to go, and pray. And in during the days, she sent my son when he is out of school, when he come back from school, then she sent me with me and watch me and what I'm doing and all those things. And it was like a kind of like like okay, every now and then she's posting on my media, putting from my account bad things, telling me, okay, you were, if you joined already, then you are doing a bad thing, you are you are doing bad. Because I openly did not accepted that I already am accepted Ahmadiyya, then my brother-in-law just left in I believe in October, before I came back from US in December. So he will not be over here before next June or July. So so I thought, just to avoid conflict, let's keep it down, don't talk, just let her whatever she's talking. But because I already accepted Ahmadiyya, so I was trying to find people and go and meet them, and Ahmadis in Pakistan, and but there were no near person living, and the mosque was away, and I cannot go and tell her, okay, I'm going for prayer in the Ahmadi mosque. So this was like a kind of a like a tough for me. I felt suffocated, and I said, let's try to find a job in UAE somewhere, and let's go over there. I tried. My brother was already went for his job in UAE, and I went over there. I tried to find a month, but I didn't get it. And then when I came back, they over there, Khudam Ahmadiyya UAE, they arranged a cricket tournament. So I have that kit with me, T-shirt and trousers, and with the name written, Jamaat Khudam Ahmadiyya. So when I went back to Pakistan after 1 month, she find out, and she like cut in pieces those with the scissors. And then now she find out that my brother already accepted Ahmadiyya, and I am very close to accepted Ahmadiyya already. And she cut those pieces and then burned that T-shirt and trousers. And like I was going into more deep depression, like what's why she's treating like that. And she was not listening anything. Whatever I tried to say, she said, no, I don't want to listen. You have to listen to me only. What I'm trying to tell you, listen to it, accept it, don't talk about it, just listen to it. And she started like she beat me one time, and this was a trading point for me to come to US. So I come to US again on the same visa, because I already had the multiple entry visa, and I said, okay, I will come over here and I will try to find a job if I can find. Otherwise, we'll see what I have to do. I did not get a plan at what I have to do, but I went. I came to US. In the US, I reached out to a couple of Ahmadis, and one of them asked me, "Okay, there is a gas station, and you can work over there in the nights." And but because I don't have anything papers, so I said, "Okay, I cannot work." So in the meantime, my wife find out that I changed my passwords of my account, so she cannot post from there. So she said, and I blocked her from my Facebook and Twitter and all those things. And then I started posting Hazur's khutbah and all those things, and all Jamaat programs from MT and all those things. So in the meantime, I find a guy who was working gas station, and they have an apartment. I said, okay, let's share that apartment. I'll pay something. And I sold my car in Pakistan, so I have some money that I can use to share that rent. And I also gave some money to my wife before I left, so that in the next 3-4 months, if I don't have a job, she can take care of it. So in the meantime, I was living over there, and I was posting all those different Jamaat activities over there. And one of my friend who was an Ahle, and he was living near my house in Lahore, he find out that I'm posting those Friday sermons and all those things, and he told me, okay, don't post these things. And I said, what's the problem in posting? Because he didn't know that I already accepted Ahmadiyya. So I said, okay, I will not post. I will post whatever I like. What's the problem with you? And he said, okay, are you just like your brother? You already accepted Ahmadiyya as well. And at that time I realized that it's too much time that I am hiding this. Like, let me be open, and let me tell them, like, okay, yes, I accepted Ahmadiyya. So I told them that yes, I accepted Ahmadiyya. And I was surprised that he was, at that time, my in-laws, they live in Sharagpur, and they are not in Lahore, and I was in Lahore. So he somehow communicated to somebody, either his local imam in Lahore, or some friend in Sharagpur, that news of my being an Ahmadi reached from him to Sharagpur to my father-in-law. And my father-in-law, he called me and he said, did you accept it, Ahmadiyya? Then, because I tried to like negate it, or just take the argument away and all those things, because he's an old person, I don't want to argue with him. But after that, my brother-in-law called me from South Africa, and he said, okay, you accepted Ahmadiyya? And I said, I don't want to hide anymore. So I said, yes, I accepted Ahmadiyya. And at that time, he tried to convince me that, okay, you will come back and you will tell us that, okay, why you accepted Ahmadiyya, then we will realize what is true and what is false and all those things. But I said, okay, if you want to learn about Ahmadiyya, why not you just listen to me, and I will let you know what the Quranic verses are. Read it by yourself. I'm not hiding anything from my own under translation. Just go and read. The only thing that he tried to convince me for an hour, but when I didn't accepted his arguments, then he said, okay, what I can do is that if you were in Pakistan, then I will let you know that, okay, what you did is not the right thing. And it was kind of like a pressure or a push to go and listen to him. But I said, no, I did it for Allah and Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, to recognize Allah, what is the right direction. And I felt that this is the mercy of Allah, that he took me to the right direction. And it was, I didn't do any effort. It is just his mercy. So that discussion closed down, and then the in-law, my wife's elder sister's husband, who's teaching in Saudi Arabia, he called me from Saudi Arabia, and he talked to me for 2 hours, and he tried a lot of different arguments, because I read all those things, the basic things. So I talked to him, and I described to him what is meant by Khatim, the word in the Quran, and what is the context of that verses, how we can translate with respect to the other verses of the Quran, and what is meant by the death of Jesus and all those things. So when I presented all those verses, he was just negating. The only thing is that when I saw a couple of videos of other Maulvis, that they try to tend to like pressurize and shout and all those things, and they turn to Mirza Sahib's life and put false allegations on his life. But he was just talking to me because he was in Saudi Arabia. So talking to me 2 hours is too much for him. But at the end, I just asked him one question. Okay, do you believe on Nasikh Mansukh, on abrogation of the Quranic verses? And he said yes. And I said, you want me to come to a religion where you said the Quran is abrogated, its verses are abrogated, some verses are abrogated, some are abrogated because of other verses. So what that means is, you are bringing me to a partial religion, and I am telling you that I am a part of a religion which believes on to total Quranic verse, total Quranic word to word, starting from the Bismillah from the start and to the Nas to the end. I'm not abrogating any verse of the Quran, and you're saying that abrogation is correct. So I don't want to argue with you because you don't believe in the whole Quran. So whatever argument I will print, any Quranic verse I will present as an argument, you will say that, okay, this is abrogated and I don't want to believe on this, and blah blah blah. So after that, my his wife, my wife's elder sister, she called me and she said, okay, you are not a Muslim anymore, your nikah is broken, and that's end, we are done. And I said, look, I'm not breaking this relationship with my wife, you are breaking it. But I don't know why you're breaking it. I mean, that's not a way to break it. That if somebody says that I am more on Quran and Sunnah, I'm more on Islam, I'm breaking it. So, but then more hurdles started. I was sleep. I don't have enough money to get an apartment, so I moved to like I was sleeping in a shed on the road. Um, it was like in Maryland, there is when the snow comes in, there's a lot of snow everywhere, and in the summer there is a like sunlight. It's too much temperature, 100, 103, 104, something like that. So I was going to a situation where I don't have a place to live. I don't have enough food because at that place where I was living, it was very far, few places to eat, and I have no place to cook or something. So after I applied for my asylum, I got my card, employment authorization card. Then I started working at the gas station. I was working in the night, so I have to work 12 hours in the night, or sometimes if the morning shift people are coming late, I have to work more than 12 hours, 14 hours, 15 hours. But one thing that was stick to me was that whatever I am doing is following Allah and His Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And they told me that whatever happens, when you find the promised Messiah, go and accept him. Go give him my salam. And whatever he says, he's the Hakam and Adal. So this was for me that I felt like I am connected to that Jamaat, the one that is prophesied by Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam 1400 years ago, and I recognized it with the symbols, with the signs, what Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has decided, told us that what will happen and who will come and how that will work. I joined this community, and I want to stick with it. Inshallah ta'ala, I will stick with it. I'll try to whatever I can. I'll serve. Right now, I'm serving in different activities for the Jamaat. I'm serving in Urdu desk, in charge for Tabligh, and also serving as Naib Regional Qaid, serving as Naib Mohammed Tarbiyat MK USA, and also other activities with Workfino and other departments as well. But the point that, and I gone through those 2 years of very hardship. Whatever the only thing that in front of me was that what I am doing for Allah. I'm not doing it for somebody. But the biggest thing was that Quranic verse come in front of me was that if you accepted Iman, if you come to the right side of the Iman, then you will be tested. But when those stories of Hazrat Bilal or Hazrat Usman or those Sahaba at the time, Hazrat Samia, Razila Taala Anha, and other companions of Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when those stories come in front of me, then I felt like I'm doing nothing, just sleeping on the road, just sleeping in the snow, just sleeping just cannot sleep because the sunlight, the temperature is too much. It is nothing. I don't have a place to eat. I have to. I remember those stories when Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and companions were in the Abi Talib, and they don't have anything to eat. They were eating tree leaves, and I still have something to eat. They don't have a place to lay down. I still have a shed. They don't have if they cannot sleep, they cannot go anywhere. But I still have, if I cannot sleep on that shed that is sitting on the highway, on the gas station, if I cannot sleep, I still can go inside the gas station. If I cannot bear that temperature of low and high, I can go inside the gas station, and heating and cooling is there. Even if I cannot sleep, I don't have a place of sleep. I don't have a place to eat. If I have to eat something raw, I still have something to eat. But those companions of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, they don't have anything. So when I when I put those stories in front of me, then I realized I'm not doing anything. And after that, when I get my employment authorization document and I get my computer science job, I was traveling all over US. And in the meantime, I'm getting those curses from my wife every day. Still, my wife still tell me, "Oh, you are a kafir. You have to come back to the Islam, and you have to leave this Ahmadiyya. You are killing your children. You are killing your wife. You are killing your relatives. You are responsible for this problem. You are accepting Ahmadiyya just to tell us that, okay, you don't care about us." I get those curses. I get those fights every day. But I felt that this is nothing. That's why it's just the sheer mercy of Allah that He still give me that patience, that I have to go. I have to keep moving forward. Because I am not even that level of those companions of Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam or the companions of Promised Messiah, what the hardships they saw. But the thing is that I realized that where is Allah? Who the Allah is? Who is the God is? And then I saw those signs happening to me. That just the one sign that I mentioned, that even I didn't know that I will come across and I come back to US, my visa is already set up by Allah, because Allah knows that what hardships are coming from me. There are other things happen to me as well, and I saw those things happening good with me, and I saw that this is a sign from Allah. My asylum case that was hanging for 5 years, and I have no hope that I'll be able to do it. I was just having a patience, okay, just sitting. And I was crying in front of Allah that, Allah, I know I need to push myself more for Jamaat activities to be eligible to get to in front of you and say, yes, I am 1% Ahmadi at least, or maybe less. But I have to push to connect with Jamaat myself. So I gone through those activities. I'm still going through those activities. I don't have any green card yet. I don't have any visa yet. I don't have a surety. But the only surety is with me is my Allah, is my God. So, and also I just want to quickly add that in 2018, when Hazur came over here and I met with him, it was like 30 seconds. I was like wondering why I have 30 seconds to meet with him. But the way he grabbed my hand, and the Urdu word is shafkat. I don't know what is the English word, but the way he reacted with me, at that time, I was just wasting my time. Why I have only 30 seconds? But after that, I realized the way he reacted with me, I felt like the missingness of my father for over 20 years, that is over. 25 years. That is over. Here is my father. He is my spiritual father, and he is the father that I need to connect with. So there are lots of things that I can push in front of you, but the things that I want to mention is, if we want to succeed in this world, right now I am working in Chase Bank, and Alhamdulillah, I have financially stabilized. I'm living in my own apartment. I have my own car, and I can travel anywhere where I want. I have, I'm doing my activities for the Jamaat and just praying from Allah that whatever I'm doing is doing for Allah, not for somebody else. I just want to tell you that yesterday, a day before yesterday, I was told that there is some work for Waqf in a department. and my job, the sprint has just started. Like this week, where we plan 2 weeks of a sprint in IT industry. The people in the IT industry, they know. So my sprint was started on Wednesday, and I was wondering how I can do that. I have to deliver because on Saturday I have to deliver. I have some work as well that I need to deliver, but there was some groundwork that I had to push into the system, into that software that I have built for work in our department testing system. So I was wondering how we'll do that. And since yesterday, 2 days, Thursday and Friday, which were the two first days of the sprint or the 2 week work, I'm getting problems with the work, like that is hindering me to do my work at my office. And it's like kind of a astonishing sign for me that Allah is telling me, oh, you want to do this work of the Jamaat, I will make sure that you get it done. So the point that at the end I just want to quickly mention is, if I want to get the success in this world, then I have to work with the Jamaat. I have to work for Jamaat. I have to show my dedication to the Jamaat, because that is the Jamaat that is established by Allah. And if I want to become an Ahmadi, I have to push myself for the Jamaat. Whatever the people are saying, whatever the people are thinking about me, whatever the people thinking, oh, I've just came outside from the Jamaat, I don't have anybody who can help me to work for Jamaat, and nobody can recognize that I can do something. But I have to keep praying and keep showing my connection with the Jamaat. And for that one, I have to do certain activities. I have to attend all the Jamaat meetings. I have to volunteer for Jamaat. I have to write a letter to Hazur to show my love for him, and request prayers from him, and also for him as well. And pray my daily 5 prayers and tahajjud. Try to do tahajjud and recite Quran every day and listen to the Friday sermon of Hazur. If I am doing these activities, then I can get the worldly success as well. And I can say that, okay, I am somewhere be an Ahmadi in the eyes of Allah, not in the eyes of the Jamaat Ahmadiyya, in the eyes of Allah. Because Promised Messiah said that if you want to become an Ahmadi, then you have to become an Ahmadi in the eyes of Allah. Because other Muslims are saying kafir to you. And if you are a kafir in the eyes of other Muslims, and you are not practicing what your promised Messiah is brought from the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and from Quran, and you are not practicing those, then what's the point of being just called an Ahmadi? So the Ahmadi identity is that we have to put extra effort to be an Ahmadi in the eyes of Allah, because regardless, either we are Ahmadi or not, Allah will give us money. Allah will give us food, all the worldly things. But if we have the connection with Allah by putting our extra effort with the Jamaat, for the Jamaat activities, and being a competitive and more work for Jamaat. I don't want to say competitive, but I want to say that put more work, time and work for the Jamaat, then we can get the success of an Ahmadi in this world and in the next world. And we can make Allah happy from us. Because Prophet Promised Messiah said, our success is in the happiness of Allah. Because in the Quran, the happiness of Allah is first, and the Jannat or the paradise is next. So we need to make our God happy, our Allah happy. And for that one, nobody can say that I am 100% an Ahmadi. Those 10 commandments, what 10 conditions of Ba'ath that we are given, and Hazur revised them in every jalsa, or the covenant that we have made, that we revise. we cannot even come to those conditions. We are not that 100% on those 10 conditions. So I would request everybody, and one more thing quickly, that Alhamdulillah, Allah has awarded me the chance to do the wasiyat. And I felt that it is being a Musi, it is the more mercy coming from Allah that He is accepting me to serve for the Jamaat. And this is my opinion. Somebody can have his opinion. But when I heard from Hazur in 2018 that Hazur said in 2005 that the 50% of the US Jamaat should be Musi, so I didn't bother that who will pay for it and how it will be done. It was an order of a promise, Messiah's Khalifa. So I just listened to him and applied for it. And Alhamdulillah, I got it. So in 2016, I applied it. So the point that I want to make is, if we want to be Ahmadi in the eyes of Allah, to get the benefits in this world and in the next world, and make Allah happy, we have to follow what the promised Messiah has said. And promised Messiah didn't brought any other thing. He brought the same Quran and its meaning, and he solved all the problems what other Muslims has created in the Quran, and its translation and its meanings. So if I want to become a true Ahmadi Muslim, I have to follow what the promised Messiah has said and what the Khalifa of the promised Messiah is saying. I have to bow down my neck and I say, I accept whatever you are saying. And I have to show my connection with the Jamaat and with the Khalifa. And for that one, I want to just repeat one more time. We have to write a letter to Hazur. We have to listen to his sermons. We have to attend the Jamaat meetings. We have to volunteer for the Jamaat work. We have to do any activity that the Jamaat tell us to do. And there are certain cases where we will not be able to understand that, okay, what's the cause of that one? Why the Jamaat or Khalifa at that time is saying this thing? So best way to tackle this thing is listen to it, act on it, and then write a letter to your Qaid, or your any other person who is the responsible person, your Amir of the country, or write a letter to Hazur directly and ask, Hazur, as you said, I acted upon it, but I am not able to understand its significance. Please help me out. Please tell me. I want to be satisfied on it. But don't run away. If we run away, then we cannot solve the problem. At the end, I just want to say that Alhamdulillah, I am serving at the Urdu Tabligh desk, and we have a YouTube channel, and we have YouTube, we have Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram. Who are listening to this video, I would request, if you speak Urdu or you listen to Urdu and you need some help from any questions, we are uploading questions-based videos in Urdu. And if you like it, then if you need it, then please come to this channel and like it and get the help. Jazakallah.
Jazakallah Sheraz Bhai, mashallah, a really inspiring story. In the end, we thank you for your time and pray that Allah the Almighty continues to enable you to spread the true message of Islam. Once again, Sheraz Bhai, Jazakallah. And we also pray for all viewers who are not Ahmadi, that Allah the Almighty enables them to also recognize the Imam of the age, Hazrat Ahmad alayhi salam of Qadian. Once again, Sheraz Bhai, Jazakallah for your time today. Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
If you have not yet subscribed, make sure to subscribe and click on the bell icon so you can get notifications for every new video. Also make sure to like and comment on the video and follow on Twitter and Instagram.
سفينا صل على محمد